Here's how I shorted from the exact high for both Bitcoin and Ethereum yesterday, and the areas I'm looking to next for the potential bounce, or if we're going to head lower on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and potentially the rest of the market. So on Sunday night, as I always do my daily and weekly updates here on the 20th here, you can see 8:33 p.m. I noted that we had just swept the previous week high as we just closed the week. We had a new weekly high. We took it right away into a daily level of resistance. Easy short setup here, back to the weekly pivot and the weekly naked point of control, which is a volume target area, which, as we can see, was right here, right? I actually entered my short at 27.60 and took profit on it yesterday when we came down to the weekly naked point of control. Once again, volume target left from last week. We actually had a couple other areas just below it there, but I decided to take profits right there for an over 5% move here to start the week, right? Very technical setup that we see pretty much time and time again, whether it be on a daily time frame, weekly, monthly. Now that we're back in the range, just need to see if we either reclaim this high area here to get back out and head to higher levels. Otherwise, you would have to anticipate that we may actually rotate this range back to the downside. This would be probably the next major area to look for any kind of fresh entries, new areas for longs, buy areas. Take a look at altcoins as well. That would obviously come down and take out this low right here. And then otherwise you have, last week's low, which is stacked with a couple of other things all the way down here at 24.38. I don't necessarily know if we're going to get that low at the moment. Obviously, like I said, just kind of taking it level by level. Right now, we obviously, came in right at the exact high, came into some weekly key regions right here. Could very well turn around from here. But in the sense of risk management at this point, if I'm just trying to, pick an area where I'm trying to, enter either a position, whether it's a mid to long-term play, short-term play, or even just if you're gauging the same way I do, the rest of the market sometimes on Bitcoin, Ethereum, the key regions I'd look for the next kind of bounce area, maybe even a reversal back to the upside. While it could very well have already came right here, and the confirmation of that would basically be get back out of this region. The more conservative areas you'd want to look for would be basically 25.67, and then if that area is lost, once again, just a really big area down here. This would be, a really big piece. This would be like, if I was to get this area again, I'd be probably going in pretty heavy, obviously, depending on the context of the market. But yeah, aside from that, you do have some other decent areas right here. And obviously, both of those regions, and including the one we're at right now, is better than, aping into the Sunday pump, right? That just happened basically at the high. So right now for ETH, looking for 25.67. If that's lost, 24.38 would be the next best area, whether it be to look for new entries or even short positions on the way down. I wouldn't enter shorts at these areas, once again, just due to risk management, because stop loss would have to be all the way back up at these highs. So that's how I'm playing Ethereum at the moment. Sunday night also noted that Bitcoin easy short here as well, swept the previous week high, all the good stuff right there, right? As we were trading right into 69,500, was looking for a pullback into these areas here as well, back into like 67.3, 66,941. And as we can see, that played out really nicely as well. So can we head lower? The answer to that is, always going to be yes. And for me, I do, once again, when looking for the ideal areas that sometimes don't get me wrong. And for me, I'm a trader, right? So I'm looking a little bit more, my mid to long-term plays are pretty much packed up, right? I'm not looking to heavily enter new altcoin positions, Bitcoin, even Ethereum at the moment. But I'm playing, the short game here. And then I'm also looking to identify key regions where we're going to see reversals, whether it's from the upside or the downside, because that's going to impact the rest of the market, right? When I'm looking at 69,500 area for a pullback, and even though this was 5%, not even, the impact of that on the altcoins obviously has way bigger implications, right? You're going to see double that in as far as the altcoin pullbacks, and that's when you see a lot of people get stressed out and overreact a little bit. But this was, once again, a very technical setup. We see it time and time again. And then for us, at the moment, right, I took the short personally here on Bitcoin. I was a little bit more conservative with where I closed out, somewhere in this vicinity right here. Either way, right, that was just a short-term play. More importantly, it was, able to identify those areas so that I understand that the remaining of my portfolio may take a small little pullback too. And then what is the next key region I'm looking for, right? So just identifying, the local range here, okay? Same deal as Ethereum, basically, right? We came up, we took the highs here, we're back in the range, and realistically, unless we kind of get back out of this region, the next best area that I'm looking for is going to obviously be at the range low. Okay, there's another volume target right down here. There is, if you pull a Fibonacci retracement, right, from that latest low right there, you've got the 382 Fibonacci retracement coming in right here, and you'll hear me time and time again state, when you have a really strong uptrend, right, you don't always get the gold pockets, you don't always get the 0.5 retracements. A lot of times you get continuation off those really strong moves up here at the 382. So doesn't necessarily mean it has to happen, but for me right now, would I be looking for along right where we are? Not necessarily. Could I miss it? It sure could, right? But for me, I'm looking for the most ideal areas, as much as it's possible. And unfortunately, that just takes a lot of patience, because you'll see, time and time again, you get all these little wicks down here, then you get really quick and exciting pump up. And for most people, if you're waiting on a little lower level, or if you have a target zone, you think you're going to miss it. And what do? You end up going in too early, right? If you're looking for a long, for example, and maybe this does turn around from here, but for a really great example is people will come in, too early here. Where's all your stops right below these lows? Are we at a really key region right here? Not really. I mean, like I said, there's definitely key levels we came into, but everything is depending on context, and areas on the chart are one of two things. Either they're, key levels to look for, bounces, reversals, entries, and then sometimes they're just targets. All right. So just like I said, you had these key regions down below us. When I'm entering a trade up here, these are more, of a target zone, right? A TP1, a TP2 type of thing, right? I'm looking to kind of scale out at those regions, not always looking to scale in. While they may become an area where we do reverse from, it's just not an ideal region for me. And in theory, we'll see a little bit more chop around these regions right here. And then, like I said, if we start to break up, that's great. Otherwise, I'm looking for a little bit more of a patient play here. More of an ideal scenario would be coming into around this region right here, that 0.382 I highlighted, up to the range low, basically. So let's just call it like 65.3 up to about 66K. All right. And, obviously we can note this low over here. But if that region gives up, I can't just automatically assume that's going to be, where we turn around here. That's just the area I'm willing to be paying attention to and potentially put some risk on. Better than up here, obviously better than up here, right? And that's how I'm breaking things down, right? Is I'm looking for key regions. And while I absolutely anticipate this market to continue higher, these pullbacks, are going to happen. They happen every day, every week, every month, every all the time, right? So they're always going to be there. While the overall move will still continue, potentially up. Obviously, I don't know that, I guess, but that's just what I target. That is where I'm looking for and why. And then the same thing applies here, right? Can't just aimlessly be like, this is the only area I'm looking for. But I'm not overlooking it, right? Because this is definitely where I do target at the moment to see, the next kind of leg up right here, right? So, and once again, really based off that 0.382 fib retracement, or we could potentially see continuation. And the next area I'm targeting is going to be realistically probably all-time highs, but short term here. And we'll see if we get another couple pullbacks along the way, right? Targeting at least this 70,800 to 71,400. And then, like I said, as far as the next key area after this, could there be some region in between? Sure. But for me, it's either this area right here or it's this area all the way down here, right? So this would be in line with like Ethereum, coming down to that $2,400 area. That would probably only occur if Bitcoin came down to here. Same deal. It's got a couple of things all stacked up here. Doesn't mean we have to go there. We've been front running and leaving a ton of key levels behind pretty much the last, 15, 18 months. So they're definitely things to be aware of. They're relevant at the moment, but I wouldn't overlook this area here. I hope that makes a lot of sense. I want to kind of touch on this, possible pullback here on Dogecoin as well. While we front ran a key region up here, which is my next major target to the upside, which is about 15.3 cents to 16 cents, give or take. We completed a crab harmonic here, right? So this is a bearish pattern when completed. Same deal here, right? Got a couple of different targets. Doesn't mean they're all going to hit. And one of them being the 382, right? So this is at, just a little bit below here, right under just above 13 cents, I suppose. And then back down to the gold pocket right here, about 12 cents. And then your B point of the pattern would be a little bit more of the aggressive target. That's a huge drop, like 17%. So I don't necessarily know if we'll see all three of these, but just want to kind of point out, as far as one of two things, right? So you don't have to come in here and short this, but just when looking for maybe that next entry, or even, if you're looking for areas where, it could be an ideal area for a pullback to come, where you're looking for a buy and hold region, right? So one of those being down here, and once again, like I said, versus where we were 2 days ago, that's 12% pullback. Could that be where it bottoms out? It doesn't necessarily have to be, but I'd rather buy at 11 or 12%, discount from 2 days ago if I had the chance, right? So, yeah, so that's what I'm looking at here on Doge. A couple of areas here. We'll see if we get all three of them. This one is definitely, a good target here as far as like if anybody's in a short position, or just like I said, looking for that next area to kind of come in with. If you would like to see my updates live time and basically 24/7, I do a ton of updates and setups in the Leading Crypto Discord server. Find the link to join that, obviously, in pretty much any of my link trees, in any of my bios across all social medias. And if you would like to try it out for the first month for 40% off, go ahead and put in the promo code UPTOBER and you'll get 40% off of the first month, right? So drops it down to like $36 for a month of, like I said, 24/7 updates. I probably put in at least 10 to 15 updates a day across whatever the case may be, short time frame, mid to long term time frame, stock market on times. There's, an academy that's included, and it's a super simple Discord. It's one of the big key selling points, in my opinion, is that it's just these few channels right here. It's not very overwhelming. These three are all from me only, so there's not even, a bunch of other messages from other people in the community. And then if you do enjoy messaging with others in the community, there's three options here: basic chat room, crypto charts where members can post their charts as well, stock charts as well. So pretty active community, pretty fun, pretty laid back. Don't get too wrapped up in all the news and things like that. So we're pretty level-headed, remain pretty neutral. And if you're interested in joining, like I said, link is in the bio. If you're not, that's totally fine. And I will see you all in the next video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And until the next time, everybody, cheers.